When it comes to choosing a new car, you're faced with the ultimate decision: gas or electric. There are so many factors to consider, it would be a lie to say there's a clear answer that everyone would agree with. But here's a breakdown of the most important considerations, which should allow you to make an informed call. Acceleration. Electric cars can accelerate far more quickly than internal combustion engine vehicles because they generate instantly available torque, and they are able to deliver it to the wheels more efficiently. For gas-powered cars, maximum torque is achieved at the point where the combination of fuel, air, and spark coincide to produce the largest vertical force. The massive drawback here is the lag in reaching maximum torque. Starting from low RPM, the engine speed has to slowly rise to its maximum torque threshold. In electric motors, maximum torque is produced from the get-go.
Oh my God!
This allows Tesla's Model 3 to go from 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. The upcoming Tesla Model S Plaid, it can accelerate at an even more ferocious speed, traveling from 0 to 60 in just 1.99 seconds. And keep in mind that Tesla's cars are passenger sedans, not luxury sports cars. For comparison, let's look at McLaren's 620R supercar. It's a race car that just happens to have a license plate, but it goes from 0 to 62 in 2.9 seconds. Meanwhile, Porsche's 911 Turbo S accelerates from 0 to 60 in a leisurely 2.6 seconds. Price tag. In relation to the price tag, gas cars are currently a lot less expensive than other options. The average cost of an electric car is about $19,000 higher than a gas-powered one. But although electric vehicles may cost more up front, they tend to have lower maintenance costs than a gas vehicle, since the drivers don't need to worry about coolant, oil, or transmission fluid. Over their lifetime, electric vehicles typically cost 1/3 the price of gas-powered cars. Some areas even offer an electric vehicle tax credit. For example, owners can get as much as $7,500 in credit in some U.S. states. Fuel. When it comes to fuel, there are gas stations every few miles, and filling up a tank just takes a few minutes. In contrast, electric vehicles have limited charging options, especially in rural areas. If that's not enough, fully charging an electric car can take up to 20 hours, depending on the model. When it comes to mileage, most gas cars have a range of 250 to 300 miles. While the first generation of electric vehicles typically got between 60 to 100 miles on a full charge, there are currently many car companies offering ranges in excess of 250 miles. Sustainability. Electric cars are advertised as a great way to combat climate change, and they are better for the environment. This is because all electric vehicles have an electric motor instead of an internal combustion engine, and they use a large traction battery pack to power the electric motor. Because they run on electricity, they don't have exhaust systems, so the vehicle emits no exhaust from a tailpipe. However, while the vehicle itself may be better for the environment, the electricity that powers it could still come from burning gas or coal. For the greatest reduction in emissions, the electricity should also come from a renewable source, such as hydropower, wind, or solar. The future. But what will the roads of the future ultimately look like? Will electric or gas cars win out? Electric vehicle use will increase dramatically in the coming years as costs decline, efficiency increases, and charging stations gain prominence. Car makers plan to invest more than $90 billion in the shift to EVs over the next 10 years. For example, General Motors announced it will sell only zero-emissions vehicles by 2035. However, this doesn't mean gas-powered vehicles will disappear altogether. With 17 million vehicles sold each year in the U.S. alone, That's a lot of potential buyers that will need to weigh their options, and hybrid alternatives are helping gas-powered vehicles keep pace with the all-electric vehicles. But electric cars are much quieter than their gas-guzzling alternatives. In fact, new regulations will require them to make an artificial sound at low speeds in order to warn pedestrians as they approach. But in terms of numbers, gas-powered vehicles still rule the road. Only 1 in 250 vehicles on the road are electric. But why? First of all, there are more types of gas vehicles for sale than electric ones. In fact, there are currently only around 30 purely EV models to choose from. Of course, it's also possible that we'll come up with an entirely new form of transportation, one that looks absolutely nothing like the vehicles of today.